Welcome to the SVG-TV news for Monday, July 25th. I am Clico with the details. As the Unity Labour Party prepares to host its annual convention in less than a week, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has made the point that there is no vacancy at the office of the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, who was at the time speaking on the API's morning SVG talk show, says that on the topic of the party's succession, there were discussions held over the years about suitable leaders in the event that he was unable to lead.
I believe that the most problematic part of that is to say, to ensure that we have enough quality persons in the party, and we have quality persons in the party to assume leadership if anything were to happen to Ralph. So that is clear. There are several persons whom we have. And I was putting forward a timetable that I would, in July this year at our convention, see if we can make a first step towards that matter of succession. I had made it plain, Candyman, you may recall that I said so at the National Council, that there is no vacancy in the office of political leader and none in the office of Prime Minister. People hear only what they want to hear, you know. I talk with clarity, but saying that we will prepare the way for possible succession in the most propitious circumstances.
PM Gonsalves notes that there are no demands on him to step down from the office of the Prime Minister and, as advised, he plans to lead the party into the next general elections.
Rank and file of the party say, having discussed the thing up and down, Ralph, we're not ready for you to consider any succession. We are satisfied with you continuing. We don't want any issue like that to emerge in the circumstances where we have all these multiple challenges. And the people are not making any demand for Ralph to leave the stage, certainly not within the immediate future. Yesterday on a radio station, I said that I will be the leader of, I will lead the party as currently advised. I would lead the party into the next general election.
Minister of Local Government and Urban Development, Senator Julian, who suffered a stroke on Sunday, is said to be in stable condition. Providing an update on the senator's condition, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says Senator Francis is stable and alert. However, his blood pressure has not reduced to the normal rate.
They would do another CT scan within another 24 hours plus. So the news coming out this morning, as of the time I'm speaking to you, is not of a deteriorating condition. Indeed, the fact that he's still alert is promising, and he's in our prayers.
PM Gonsalves further explains a CAT scan was conducted which revealed there was bleeding in the center of Senator Francis's brain. He adds the brain was slightly swollen. The senator was flown to Barbados on Sunday evening after doctors at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital were able to stabilize him. The Prime Minister adds that the affairs of the government are set to continue as normal in the senator's absence, who also holds responsibility for airports, seaports, energy and Grenadine affairs. He says he has already informed the relevant persons that he will now oversee the senator's portfolio until his return.
The business of the government and the party, that business continues. This morning, I called the acting permanent secretary in the Ministry of Urban Development, Airports, Seaports, Local Government, just to say to her, well, I am Home Minister in the absence of Julian. I also call Ronnie Myers, which is a big part of the portfolio energy, to indicate that I am his minister until Julian returns. Well, the AIA and the Port Authority already know that. Argyle International Airport. So there it is. The government continues to function as usual, and today we'll have Parliament. I know you will miss very much the discussion, the debate on the financing, the 62 million US, the financing gap provided by the Taiwanese. That bill for the approval is one of the bills which we're going to do very early today.
PM Gonzalez also noted that the upcoming ULP convention, currently scheduled for Sunday, July 31st, will go ahead as planned once there is no decline in the overall health and well-being of Senator Francis, the party's General Secretary. The government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines is working to give Vincentians who held policies in the now-collapsed Clico company a one-time settlement. This is according to Minister of Finance Camilo Gonzalez, who provided an update on progress to recover some of the assets in Clico during the House of Assembly today. Minister Gonzalez says the government of Barbados has offered a bond in the amount of 37 million Barbados dollars, which was set aside to settle claims of Vincentians and other Eastern Caribbean policyholders. He adds the sum of $8.2 million will be used to settle the claims from SVG policyholders.
The government of Barbados is providing a bond that is a long-term instrument that would provide cash flows to settle the claims of currency union policyholders over a very long period, over a 15-year period. Clearly, it is not reasonable to ask policyholders who have waited for many years for a settlement to their claims to collect now that settlement over a 15-year period. So the Eastern Caribbean Currency Union and the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, members of the Subcommittee on Insurance, have been working to find ways to monetize the bond, to make the cash payments with as much dispatch as possible. To this end, the Ministerial Subcommittee on Insurance is reviewing various options to arrive at a uniform approach for achieving this objective.
Minister Gonzalez says out of a meeting held by the Monetary Council of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank on July 22nd, the decision to appoint a trust management was approved. He says the plan is to provide settlement payments that should be in 6 months to a year.
To give the policyholders a one-off settlement based on this bond. So we'll monetize it and manage that end of it. And we're hoping that as this works through the court system, we're looking at, on the short end, about 6 months from now, and at the outer limit, probably 12 months from now. So it would be in that time frame.
Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Suboto Caesar says government has not abandoned plans to export seafood to the European Union of countries. He made this comment during the question and answer segment of the House of Assembly today. Over 2 decades ago, local exporters were banned from exporting seafood to EU markets, a decision that came as a result of concerns of fish handling practices in markets. Minister Caesar admits that government has experienced some challenges in the past with exports, and progress is being made to advance efforts to reintroduce exports to the EU.
Advance our efforts to export to the EU. And Part A, the only outstanding issue that we have now is the revision of the Fisheries Act. And it is expected to be tabled, the bill is expected to be tabled in Parliament before the end of the year. In fact, the Cabinet has approved for a period of national consultation to take place so that we can speak to stakeholders. That's a short version.
The minister further explains the issue which initially stopped the country from exporting to the EU is no longer the reason there are no exports done to that particular region.
The facility at the time, which caused St. Vincent and the Grenadines to be stopped from exporting to the European Union, is no longer the issue why we are not exporting fish market. And there was an unannounced visit by the EU inspectors at the same time, and when they noted these products, among two other reasons being that the storage facility at the market in Little Tokyo was inadequate, there was improper surfaces at the center, and improper flow of the product. Therefore, the EU stated, because of these things, since Little Tokyo is your registered export facility, we are going to stop any product from leaving St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, the SVG-TV, has launched its summer program, an initiative aimed at preventing crime among the nation's youth. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Assistant Superintendent of Police Junior Simmons says the summer program is a strategy of the SVG-TV to positively engage young persons and steer them on the right path.
To positively engage young people, to steer them along a pathway where they can utilize their time, minds, energy, and skills to make a difference in the lives of other youths, in their communities in which they live, and St. Vincent and Grenadines as a whole. And based on what we have seen thus far, the members of police youth clubs have been impacting the lives in a positive way of their peers and have been contributing their fair share to national development. To publicly commend the newly installed National Coordinator, Sergeant Billy, and his coordinators, both police officers and civilian, because we also have civilian coordinators among us, for their Herculean effort in ensuring that this movement remains relevant.
This year's camp is being held under the theme Resilience and Recovery in Adversity, and Assistant Commissioner of Police Leonard Fergus says students will learn about self-awareness and resilience during the program.
Be mindful. The second point here is mindfulness. So you have to be mindful, and this is being conscious or aware of your present surroundings. So you have to be aware of what is happening around you. Your surroundings. You must be aware to see if there is danger, what action you have to take, or what have you. So you must be mindful. The third point here is self-care. And this is obvious. Anything that you do to take care of yourself, anything that you do to protect yourself, you will not see danger and attempt to go towards danger. Because you have a responsibility as a person, as a young person, to protect yourself.
Students from the North Windward and North Leeward areas of the island have received support from the government of Indonesia in the form of 2 school buses. The cost of the buses is valued at 328,000 DEC dollars, and they are expected to be in operation by the start of the new school term in September. Speaking at the handing over ceremony, Minister of Transport and Works, Montgomery Daniel, says this show of generosity by the Indonesian government is welcomed, adding that the issue of transportation for students will now be addressed.
The matter was raised with me of the problems we are having in terms of transport. And so in discussions with both ministries and having the Ministry of Foreign Affairs intervention, that we seek to have the assistance of the government and people of Indonesia in assisting with transport. And so, over that period of time, in our discussions and our work through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, that today we have seen the results. We wanted to buy 2 of these larger buses, but of course we were not able to meet the cost. Having had discussions at the cabinet level, we were able to buy this larger bus, and the government, of course, partner with the monies provided, and we were able to buy the second bus.
Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, His Excellency Imam Edi Mulyono, said it was his country's honor to be a part of the efforts to provide access to education for Vincentian students.
We believe that education is the pillar of a nation development. Therefore, it is an honor for us to be able to contribute to some of the effort. Ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you that this cooperation shall not be the last, but the beginning. As what it says in the Vinci proverb, "Parson say Christian, yo picnic first," meaning look out for those closest to you before you look out for others. Even though the distance between Indonesia and St. Vincent and the Grenadines is very far, there are various things that make the 2 countries very close.
Coast Guard Petty Officer Brangergen Glasgow is cautioning parents about the dangers of beach, river and pool activities during the summer holidays. Petty Officer Glasgow encourages persons to have a plan when visiting these areas. He suggests if a person does not know how to swim, they should have a responsible companion who does.
Same thing, have a plan. It's not only the beach, it is water safety in general. You know, persons may go to a pool party, persons may go to the river. People, Vincentian likes to go to a lot of river cooks, those deep holes, right? But my thing is that you have a plan, learn to swim, right? If you're going to the beach, inform your parents that you're going to the beach, right? Tell them what time you expect to go, what time you expect to return. Don't go to the beach alone. Have a buddy, right? Yeah. When you're at the beach, we expect you to stay away from things like alcohol. Alcohol not only reduces your ability to think straight, it also reduces your body temperature. So you get into the water and you start to get the chills, and you know, it's disaster. If you get into trouble, we expect that you would indicate to someone that you are in trouble, that you're struggling. Right? Do not eat too much of heavy foods. You know, walk with a light snack, something to keep you.
Giving tips on how persons should swim, Glasgow warns persons not to swim out to sea, but swim parallel to the shoreline. He also shared tips on how to rescue someone who is encountering difficulties.
Really is to approach that person from the back, you know, and you would take that person from the back and swim with them back towards the shoreline. A drowning man
get hold on to anything,
grab at you. Like they say, a drowning man will grab at a shark. Right?
Yes,
so
yes.
He would tend to grab at you sometimes because he's struggling and he's fighting. You do not want him to sometimes know that you're coming to assist him. So you prefer to make that approach from the back so that it reduces that fight.